How we doing, GameLeapers? Coach Eagz back with another weapon of a video. In this one I'm going to be teaching you guys how to hard carry and low elo as a mid laner. The gameplay we're going to be watching is a 48 kill Zed game in silver. 48 kills! They were obviously smurfing, but what does this player do differently than everyone else in low elo? How is he able to have so many kills? The tips I'm about to share with you guys are massive, so don't go anywhere because you will miss out. Quick shout out to our website GameLeap.com. If you're serious about unlocking your potential in League, then look no further. The market leader in providing you with informative videos, courses and guides, uploaded and updated on a daily basis. Please remember to like the video, we really appreciate it, and subscribe so you stay up to date with our must-watch daily uploads. Let's get into it. Tip number 1. Capitalizing on enemy mistakes. Even in these first couple of levels, Zed is able to punish Fizz for his bad positioning and land multiple skill shots on him. Why? Because Fizz is standing in line with the minion Zed wants to last hit or Q, so both are lined up. Killing two birds with one stone, in other words getting a minion and damage on an enemy champion, is a big win for any mid laner. Look at this. Let's draw a line from the minion Zed wants to execute before it reaches his tower to Fizz himself. Notice anything? Yes, it's always going to be a straight line, but Zed barely has to move to be a part of this line. So Fizz, if you're watching, stand away from these minion lines. As a result, Zed gets a 2-in-1, and though this doesn't win him the lane, the lower HP Fizz is, the more deadly Zed becomes, especially at level 3. What was it? Thought we were going to miss this one too. Can you guys see the pattern? Someone get me Fizz's number. I need to give this guy a call, seriously. Fast forward, and this is tip number 2. Punish your enemy's escape. In this lane, what's Fizz's escape? His E. What ability did he just use? His E. Now Zed has a window of opportunity to potentially kill Fizz when he hits level 3, and ends up doing just that. It depends on the champion you're against of course, but if they use their only form of escape, or peel, it's on cooldown, and that timer is your kill window, so take advantage of it. Tip number 3. Knowing when to stop. Even though this Zed is a smurf, he does make a few mistakes in lane. This is all good, shoving the wave so Fizz misses golden experience, but he overstays trying to take the first turret plate. The mid and top tier 1 turrets have a fortification bonus, meaning they take 50% less damage for the first 5 minutes of a game. A Zed with a longsword tickles the first plate at best, so if you guys are in this situation early game, just back him by. The silver Fizz almost kills him and Zed has to use his flash because he was that greedy. Tip number 4. Creating a cost. When Zed comes back to lane, Fizz is looking to roam top and Zed shoves the wave. This is good. Why though? Because there is a trade taking place. If Fizz roams top and gets a kill, then he loses minions mid. If he doesn't get a kill or anything from the roam, then he just loses. All these little details matter, fam. Tip number 5. Last hitting equals damage. Fizz returns a level down and has to last hit under tower. This is the most obvious time to deal damage to an enemy champion, when they are CSing. Their focus will be on not falling behind their Blitz GG CS stat, but they will forget about you and your abilities. Fizz then uses his escape, which was a tip from earlier, and as a result of both of these things, Zed lands a full combo, procs electrocute, and kills Fizz because he is still tunnel visioning the CS. Players in gold and silver struggle to do two things at once, so try to exploit it. Zed rotates back to mid, and this is the key part of the game. Zed's level 6. For any mid laner, hitting level 6 is a massive spike in power, but assassins become a much bigger part of other lanes at this point. Tip number 6. Level 6 bot lane roam. Zed is sitting on gold and is less than half HP, but I like his decision here regardless of what elo he was in. Fizz and most other mid laners think he's recalling, but he wants to attack as soon as possible after hitting level 6. Otherwise the enemy team has more time to react to it, and when Zed goes back to lane, everyone is more aware of the danger. The element of surprise. That's what he's doing. As a mid laner, you will always be a higher level than the enemy bot lane, and it's prime time to double kill, as Zed does here. You can do this on any mid of course, it's just easier to accomplish on assassins. Tip number 7. Use your damage. Zed recalls and buys a Ghost Blade. Does he want to use this damage on minions or enemy champions? Obviously the latter. So the first condition is to shove every wave. This means you don't lose anything when you roam, golden experience, and you have more room to operate once the wave is under the enemy tower. The second condition is to roam bot every time. There are a potential 2 kills bot lane and only 1 top, so the snowball will always be larger the more you go bot. Not to mention the fact that top is a pretty useless role. Fizz uses his escape and Zed picks him off. Just want to point out the Brand landing 2 skill shots on him so you guys know he isn't a scripter. Jhin then headbutts the Nord and Zed gets a free kill. Remember, do not waste your power spike sitting mid guys. Shove the wave, roam bot, bang. Zed didn't listen to my tip on overstaying, did he? And he dies again. At this point he knows he's so far ahead of everyone, so will limit test whenever he can, but in your games if you're on 200 HP and really good gold, please just recall. Tip number 8. reacting to the map. Sometimes the map will be the biggest factor in deciding when and where to roam. Let's pause it and look at the bottom right. There's obviously a fight, so the first question Zed asks himself is, can I get there? Of course. Second question, do I win these? Yes, he is so strong compared to everyone else in the game, so he wants to use his damage on enemy champions, as we discussed earlier. If you're in a similar situation, do not waste time running to a fight if you can't make it. In 20 seconds time, the fight will have ended, and you waste your time when you could have been attaining resources elsewhere on the map. This is a common mistake low elo players make. They run around like headless chickens hoping the player is still there half a minute later. So remember those two questions, and I guarantee you will maintain and extend your leads. Zed goes back to mid and shoves the wave. This is correct. And even though he's sitting on gold, he's that far ahead of Fizz that recalling for even more damage means little if not nothing. In turn, he stays mid and hovers in range of Fizz, ready to pounce on any mistake the title trickster makes. Fizz just used his E, still not learning from his previous deaths, and Zed combos proccing electrocute. The burst is at this point insane, and Fizz cues into Zed for whatever reason. Zed auto attacks with red buff, finishes the fish off after returning to his W. I hope you guys can see that Zed isn't doing anything special. It's all logical, and by pointing out these patterns, I'm sure you will learn from it. For the next 45 seconds, Zed does nothing. What should he do after killing Fizz? The turret plate might be too risky, so recalling and buying is right. He even starts to recall here but decides against it, and waddles into the enemy jungle. I don't like this. Because of his HP after killing Fizz, Midlane could be anywhere, and he can make this play whenever he wants. At level 6 when he roamed bot, he has a much smaller window to kill the enemy bot lane. At this point in the game, he can run bot whenever. There's no time limit. Based off this, tip number 9, recall if you're on 200 HP and gold. He ends up killing Jhin and Brand eventually, but dies to the turret. I respect this player's lust for kills, but I think it's important for me to point out his mistakes too. None of these smurfs are robots that play perfectly, and if you understand why some of his mistakes are inefficient, you won't make them in your games. Let's not forget that he has done a lot of things well. This wave, for example. Shoves the wave, tick. Roams bot, tick. And this is tip number 9, faking backs. After sending his shurikens to Mars, shout out to Stylish, he runs back in the lane faking that he's going to recall. And this is the tip, faking backs. What does this do? This lures Jhin and Brand into a false sense of security. They will 100% assume that Zed has backed or left the lane, so they play normally and move out from under their turret. Because of this, they are closer to danger and further away from safety, giving Zed the opportunity to kill them both. A fight breaks out in the Tribrush and River, and if Zed recalled, maybe he doesn't get here in time. Because he faked his recall, the enemy team think they can win, but Zed's 5-head play lands him another kill. Tip number 11, play in fog. And this is the ultimate tip when playing mid laners, especially assassins and those mages who can one-shot you. After level 6, the map opens up. Champions have greater mobility, turrets are falling, objectives are being taken, there's more space on the map. Zed uses tip number 6, roaming bot side, and combines this with vision activity, warding. This is what playing in fog means. You're playing in the enemy jungle and brushes to pick off stragglers who wander past. In this situation, Fizz thinks he's safe to push the wave, but Zed hasn't shown on the map. And this is very common in low elo. No one respects the fog, and players make decisions based off their impatience, rather than logic. Zed rotates back around mid, and ends up killing Fizz. In similar scenarios, the longer into the game you get, the more opportunities you have. Because ADCs might be rotating mid, supports might be trying to ward Dragon, mid laners who try to match your roam. You are at your most deadly when unseen. So play in fog, and use the unknown to your advantage. Brand does the exact same as Fizz after Zed roams bot, disrespects the fog, and Zed stays patient, combos the Brand, and almost gets Jhin as well. The more of these tips you apply in your games, guys, the easier it will be to drop insane amounts of kills. It's like you're spinning a web on the bottom side of the map, and enemies who get caught in the web are like flies. Let me know how good that analogy was in the comments. To reiterate the tips so far, let's note what Zed does after killing poor Fizz again. Very nice mechanics here, waiting for Nidalee to pounce before holding, and W's away while using his E and Q. The opportunity though is set up because he shoves and roams to the right side of the map. Let's see if you can spot what Zed does here. He fakes to leave the lane and then plays in fog. Most of the time he's applying more than one tip at a time. Brand eventually checks the brush and Fizz dies shortly after. So instead of just recalling, Zed maximizes his potential for kills by faking to back and using the brushes. And this is one of the main reasons he accumulates 48 kills. And this is the only time Zed roams top and not bot. Reason? It's more accessible. It's closer to his lane and he kills Urgot and Jhin. He picks up another kill bot lane and all of a sudden has 22 kills. Tip number 12. Hunt down the ADC. As an assassin, you always want to be thinking about your targets on the enemy team. Most of the time, this will be the ADC. Therefore, it's a great idea to anticipate where they will farm and head to that lane. In this case, there's no anticipation needed. Jhin is farming bot, so Zed pops his ghost blade and beelines it. Another kill. He shoves the wave, roams into the enemy jungle and plays the fog game, and ends up killing Jhin, who comes back out to his turret. Fizz dies as well, but it's not pure coincidence. Zed is in complete control because of all the important details we've pointed out, and the enemy keeps making the same mistakes. For most of this game, the pattern has been kill, shove, roam, fog, kill, and it progresses until the enemy nexus explodes. Even after taking Drake, look at Zed's base. He's that focused on posting his kill record on the Zed main subreddit that he's willing to lose for it. Same principles apply though. Into the enemy jungle bot side, fog, kill. Sometimes you won't even have to create the chance. Low elo players like Fizz will still face check you despite you killing him more times this game than he's probably been killed in the entire season. These patterns repeat themselves for another 15 minutes. Zed is now on 44 kills and his team secured the Elder Dragon. When you have a clear advantage in terms of buffs, Baron, Solar, Elder, you need to take as many resources as possible. Zed of course opts for kills and puts on a show in the enemy base to end with 48 and wins the game for his team. I know the 12 tips in this video are going to help you guys out immensely. Use this as a reference point to remind yourself of everything you aren't currently doing so you can improve and drop 48 kills in your games. If you're loving this content at the moment, it doesn't have to stop, guys. Head on over to GameLeap.com to keep learning the ins and outs of Summoner's Rift. If you want to be the best, then sussing out our hundreds of videos, courses, and guides is a no-brainer. Please like the video if you enjoyed, and subscribe for the next daily upload. This has been Coach Eagz. Until next time, peace.